In Norway, we know very little about the history of jazz. You have been giving lecture in history for many years.
Hmm.
Can you tell me and the Norwegian audience something about jazz history, shortly?
Well, it's difficult to put it to say it briefly in just a few minutes, but I can say that it's a music that grows out of the fluidity of the environment of the United States of America, meaning that the music is constant. America is constantly in a state of change culturally because they're trying to find some kind of identity with this great mixture of peoples and religions and cultures that have been thrown together in that particular area of the world, and the culture is always in a state of being formed. Whereas here, you take Europe or even Africa or Asia,
Mm.
you folks have a glorious past as far as the arts are concerned. And America is trying to fuse, if you will, the cultural personalities of a lot of people who are sometimes opposed to each other in every aspect. To try to pull all these things together and come up with something that is original and indigenous to this group of people
Yeah.
in the United States of America is not an easy task. So the history of what we call jazz kind of chronicles that kind of development.
Mm. Mm.
From the early field songs and hollers through the spirituals on up through the blues and up to what we have in our instrumental music, of course. Before that, with the ragtime and so forth, it kind of chronicles the cultural development of the United States of America, and I think it's still going to do that. I think that the music, as America is young. It's young, and America is young, and eventually, hopefully, I know many of us are hoping that we will come up with an individual cultural identity, as you would find the Italians might have, or the Germans might have, or you folks right here in
Yeah.
Norway have.
Throughout your career, the name Max Roach have been synonymous with progressive ideals.
Mm.
What do you say to that? What kind of
Well, you
ideals?
cannot live in the United States of America without being socially and politically involved, whether you're black or white, because the United States to me is like a sociological experiment. It's where all of a sudden nature, by some reason, just threw all of us together.
Yeah. Mm.
Your people from Africa, we all are just everybody is there. Asiatics, Europeans, Africans, just everything. And we have thrown together now, and I really do believe, it may sound idealistic, to solve some of the problems that exist in the world today, because we're constantly fighting each other.
Mm.
But here we're thrown together in such close proximity that maybe we will someday, and I think this is one of the primary functions of a state like the United States of America, to try to show the world that people who are of different cultures and different races and
Yeah.
different religions
Mm.
can live together.
Mm.
When I went to school as a young boy, in our class there were Hispanic people, there were Jewish people, there were
Mm.
people with Norwegian names, with English names, German names. There were Muslims, the kids, just in the class.
And you think it's possible to bring all together?
Well, I'll tell you this: if it doesn't work,
Yeah.
then humanity will have to try something else, because we're still thinking about how we still are thinking about what protecting ourselves from each other.
Mm.
I have to have a bomb that's bigger than yours. You have to have a bomb that's bigger than mine.
Wow.
And we're all constantly building fences around ourselves. Well, in the U.S., we don't build fences around you. We have to go down the subway. You have to live next to people who you see here. It's in Europe and in Africa and in Asia. Everything is one. You know, the Asiatics are all. You know, when you go to Japan, it's Japanese. You go to Africa, it's African. You come to Europe, they're Europeans.
Yeah.
When you go to America, you don't know. You say, "What the hell is this?" You know, there's all kinds of people. There are all kind of religions. There's cultures. So I don't suppose it's going to be easy, but I'm optimistic about it. I really am. I'm optimistic to the point where I think America has to some way show the world, if you will,
Okay.
that we can all live together as human beings and still be different. You know.